What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, for those of you that like trench bullies, defensive linemen that can affect the game from the run and the pass with the versatility to get it done at defensive tackle, at defensive end, this is your episode. 2025 three-star defensive lineman Wilnerson Telemaque is a beast in the trenches, committed to West Virginia, but that's not the full story. Can get it done in the interior, on the edge, long arms, quick first step, explosive, powerful, everything you want from a dominant defensive lineman. But you don't want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the superstar himself in the thick of a playoff run down there. Three-star defensive end committed to West Virginia, Wilnerson Telemaque. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing good.
For those of us that aren't as plugged in, let us know how this season's gone for you at Miami Northwestern and what the playoff run has looked like so far.
I mean, the season so far has been great. Great as a team, joining a new team. It's a different experience compared to any other high school program in the country, having a guy like Teddy Bridgewater coaching you. So it's an NFL experience, having the media on you every single week. So it's pressure to it, but at the same time, it's just fun.
What is Coach Bridgewater like as a head coach? As a quarterback, he always seemed like a real calm guy, a leader's leader, but a real calm guy. What is he like as a head coach?
I mean, he's real chill. He's not like other head coaches that's like, you could tell. He's probably chill. He try to be like more of a player's coach, be with the guys. And it's just like, practice-wise, it's just like he'll try to dissect the defense every chance he get.
What's those practices like? What's that atmosphere like? Because I know y'all got dogs on both sides of the football. At receiver, some absolute studs at receiver, studs up front, quarterback, running back. But on defense, y'all are stacked as well. So what are those practices like?
I mean, we the most stacked defense probably in Florida compared. Like, we like an IMG of Miami right now, where we got a guy with offers on every part of the ball. So it's just like,
It's crazy.
it's always practice like a game day, really. It's just like we going against each other like it's a game. It's always high emotions. It's intense, and it's the way football should be played.
So before we get into the recruiting, before we get into the committed and the film, I want to ask you about the player. Do you feel like, or what is it about this year that has helped you elevate your game? Like, even your style of play looks different. Your body style looks different. Just looks like you were just so much more tapped in. What was it that led to that transformation?
I'll just say just staying in the lab, being more focused. Now seeing where from sophomore to junior year was this we had to improve to now junior to senior year, where it's not only preparing for the senior year, but now you're preparing for college. So it's just a whole different ball game where you trying to find like every little mistake and trying to fix it the more time you go.
If I could ask you, what's one thing you think Wilnerson this year does way better than him last year, what would that one thing you'd say would be?
I'd probably say stop the run, be more of a bully. Probably stand low.
Yeah. And the versatility I love. A defensive lineman that doesn't have to come off the field no matter the situation. If it's short yardage, if it's we need somebody inside, outside. I like that you give your defensive coordinator so much more he can do with just one player. So you got to do something that is, I don't care what level it is or who you are. Being able to commit to a D1 program, a major D1 program, is huge. That's the dream, right? From the first time you pick up a football. For those of us that haven't gotten to experience that, tell us what that day was like for you and the family committing to West Virginia.
It was like a humbling experience. It was really like something like you worked hard for since he was a little kid, where everybody was trying to pay. Like down here, it's like everybody want to play on Sundays, but like the first thing they tell you, you want to play on Fridays and then Saturdays. So it's just like you start playing on Fridays, playing at somewhere like Traz is already big, but then you get to the college level, it's just like that's huge because not a lot of kids can do something like that. So it's always something special and always something like when I first committed, it just was like you really feel like you starting to get somewhere. You're seeing like all the hard work starting to pay off.
What was it about the Mountaineers up there that just felt like home for you?
Just the coaching staff, the family type experience they had was just like it was a big old family where they just all show love. And it was like the way they showed me up as a priority, it was like one of the like building blocks to the class that I really seen like I could really make an impact. And instead of being at like a bigger program, some people say it's like I could really build West Virginia, like making it something special.
I like that you have that chip to that pride where it's like, all right, I'm gonna be a part of the change. I'm gonna be a part of why in a couple years people gonna run to West Virginia. I love that pride that you have in the school and the culture already. That tells me that there's clearly a good culture and a good plan in place. So I want to talk about the defensive coordinator there. What was it like meeting him, hearing him and the head coach, Coach Brown, talk about how they could use you? How's that relationship developed in your recruitment?
I say with Coach Brown, I'd say him has been talking since I want to say around the middle of my sophomore year. So like me and Coach Brown's
Ooh.
always had a tight connection. And the D line coach, I've known D line coach for a while. So then me and the DC later on and like visits and all that stuff, it just started meshing on. Like we started connecting even more. It's just like I love the defense. It was just like we definitely could build something
Yeah.
over there.
So before we get into the film, there's something I also want to talk about is when a program like West Virginia lands a great recruit like this, it's not just Coach Brown, it's not just the defensive coordinator, it's not just the position coach, it's the entire recruiting staff. Quickly give a shout out to everybody else up there at West Virginia that made it feel like home for you every time you went up there.
I say shout out the whole recruiting staff. Shout out Coach Johnson, Coach Jason Thompson. He definitely made sure that I was going to commit every time I'd be on the phone with him. We on visits. He was my ride everywhere. So it was definitely, that's my guy.
And you talked about the whole squad got offers. Everybody on that defense offered up. Now, when we say offers, I do want to preface that bro has over 30 offers. So it's not like he had 4 or 5 offers. Obviously, you can just choose one. But for those of y'all in the comments that are wondering, the offer sheet was as long as it gets for Wilnerson. What was the squad like the day you made that decision to commit?
I mean, everybody was pumped. That was just, whoa. Like having guys, I was like 2 days before we had a kid go to Colorado. So it was just like everybody on the defense. We were just trying to see who's next to commit. So it's just everybody was pumped for it and excited. And then we had coaches on the staff that used to play at West Virginia.
Did you surprise them or did you let the squad know?
No, it was a surprise. Nobody knew. Everybody was
confused. Yeah. So it was a real turn up. It was a real, the people was really like, yo.
Yeah. So I had everybody guessing different. Everybody didn't know where I was going. Only me and my family.
I love that. All right. Before we get into this, you as a pass rusher, you feel like you've gotten a little bit more of an insight to what quarterbacks are looking for, having a guy like Coach Bridgewater as your head coach kind of just let you know, oh, that move, they're not going to be able to stop that, or he's not going to be able to see if you're doing that. You feel like you've gotten better just having that insight from a head coach that used to play quarterback at a high level?
Definitely. I feel like with him, it's like you're going against one of the best in probably Dade County history, a guy who's been in the league for over 10 years, I think. So it's just like going against him. Now you're going to the game, going against high school quarterbacks that are not that level yet. So you just know the footwork, how many steps drop back they doing. It's like you can know where they step in. You see where they gonna move up, where they push up the pocket. You just know how. And most of the quarterbacks like down here, they're gonna take the first option, and then the second read gonna take a little longer. So it's just like you can tell by the eyes, like if they're really confident about it for real.
Yeah, you started seeing Coach Bridgewater's footwork and was like, look, they can't do that on Friday. So if I can get to you, I know I'm getting to him.
Yeah,
I like that you've gotten just those little bit of, all right, oh, so that's how a guy at the top of his game does that. So if I know if I can get on him, or if I can put a move where he's not expecting me to come inside this quicker, he's not expecting me to be in his face this quicker. If it work on you, not only is it going to work on Friday, but I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind because that's probably gonna work on Saturdays too.
Yeah.
So here, the versatility. Have you always been the guy that all positions on the defensive line I can play and be effective at?
Yeah, I'll say that since like little kid ball. I was playing all D line, tight end, O line, so I was just ready to be on the field. So it was just like wherever I lined up at, I was just trying to make a play.
Then the tenacity, the high motor. When you hear high motor, people just think that means a guy has a bunch of sacks. It doesn't. It means when the play is flowing away from him, he's still screaming like a banshee, full speed, 100 miles an hour, chasing a quarterback from the backside. For young pass rushers out there, Will, what would you say is the key to having a motor like this and to being relentless like this?
I'd say just like with that, because not every sack is gonna look perfect. Not every time you're gonna have that perfect sack where you can just make the move and hit them. So it's like sometimes the move's not gonna work or the quarterback's gonna push it. So you just gotta keep going till you make the tackle. And then the more times or not, if you just keep doing like that, eventually you're gonna make the play.
or he gonna start seeing ghosts because at some
Yeah,
point he knows, bro, Will coming from the backside. Like I know he coming. I may not see him, but I know he coming. So
yeah,
he starts rushing his delivery, he starts rushing his timing because in the back of his mind, he's like, man, I know he on the way. So
yeah.
if I had to ask you, if I had to pick your perfect scenario, is it a sack or is it when you get to stuff a running back in the backfield right after a handoff? What's
I'd
more
say
enjoyable?
I'll probably say sack, but at the same time they both fun. Like when you stuff a running back and you just it's just like because normally you get a sack, it's like cool, the O-line coach going, but when you stuff a running back, the O-line coach, you see him on the other side just pissed because it's like
Everybody mad.
yeah. Whereas a sack is just like oh, the better guy.
I
So it's
like
just
that. It's like, nah, I'm gonna disrupt the whole blocking scheme. That's way better because now everybody in trouble. If I
yeah,
beat one guy's in trouble. If I disrupt this entire blocking scheme, all five of y'all get yelled at.
yeah.
Like so. Have you ever grabbed a handoff? This first step, this ability to explode like this at any level, have you ever just grabbed a handoff?
Yeah, and Little League I did. I was trying to do it this game, Key West. 'Cause I
Knew
was
it.
reading. I was just like, I'm waiting for him to hand it. It was sometimes during the game where I was just being the center off the ball so smoothly where I could have took it, but sometimes he'll just sneak it in low to the running back and he'll get a little like 1 yard, negative yard, stuff like that.
Bro, that's unreal preparation as well. How much is understanding how you can attack a defense like this and know, all right, I can probably beat this center 80 to 90% of times this game. That's film study. That's understanding what your opponent is
Yeah.
doing and tendencies. When did film study become a big part of your game?
I'll probably say once I started really getting in touch with my guy Cooney. So Cooney really was just like you start getting in touch with him. We was learning on everything, how they move, how their knees was, how their hips is. Then going the inside with the center, it was just like you had to look at the snap count. So then you watching that film on Huddle, or you can even go on like YouTube, look up their games and hear audio, hear like snap counts, what they call their cadences and all that stuff.
Bro, that's different. That's next level because when you have the type of God-given athleticism, it's very easy to not put in that other work ethic on the back end. But bro is pulling up offensive YouTubes, turn up the volume to learn, just to get if it's a small tendency, if it's a small key, if it's just something I could use against y'all. And he turned his head to the left every time before he snapped the football. I like that you look for even the smallest of ways to get an edge. Who are some of the guys you like to study? Because your versatility, it's got to be a combination of some people because there's not one person that does everything you do on a defensive line. So who are some of the guys you like to study and learn from?
I'd say like my biggest one was always I was always compared to Calais Campbell. So Calais Campbell was one of them guys that I always was studying stuff like
That
that. And then,
length.
like I was always a like college wise, I was always a Chase Young fan when he was at Ohio State. So I always was like trying to be like him, like growing up. So it'd be multiple guys. And then like my boy Shamar. Shamar was like a guy I looked up to because we played in the same little league and then we had pace and build up connection like that.
So we see the aggression and we see the explosiveness, but we also see the fire in you too. You shut down this run and we see the excitement. So I gotta ask, what's Will like when it's 8 tackles, 3 of those are tackles for a loss, 2 sacks? When you balling like that, how are you make it
But
quiet?
now I'm fun with it. I'm like, we on the
Let's go.
sideline. Cause it's like it's at trash, so it's always fun. So I'm out here turning up with the D line. We dancing, we on the sideline having fun. Like we just making it chill. We ain't trying to be too stressed about it. Like we just treat it like it's regular. It's just business.
For people outside of Florida, speak to the atmosphere at Trash. Speak to what it's like playing there, whether it's a big game, small game. That atmosphere seems like it's always popping. What's it like actually being there, being on the field?
I say at trash, it depends. If it's a big game, like when we play Center New Orleans, it's like a movie. Like you get off the bus, crowd on both sides sold out. You just like, damn, like this is a move. You run out on the field, everybody starts screaming, everybody punt. You see the other team at the 50, you join with the other team. It's like it just feels like electric. And then even with little games, you'll have like with Northwestern, they got one of the best alumni, I think, in the country. So like they're gonna be at every game. Like even when we went to Key West, they sold out Key West. So you can see like they go wherever we go.
How cool is it to be a part of that tradition? Big playoff run this year. First game, absolutely destroyed your opponent. Got a big one this weekend as well. Team is doing something super special this year. But like you said, the alumni list It's crazy. We all follow 305 Sports, right? So we see the tweets, we see the IG. We like, oh wait, he went there. He went there. How cool is it to be a part of that culture, that history, and know that this year's team is putting their own stamp on that history as well?
I'll say understand the history because I was there in ninth grade and a little bit of eighth grade too, seeing the history and seeing guys like Tiger and all of them be over there and seeing all the NFL guys that will show up back to come to practice and stuff. And then coming back this year where it was Teddy being the head coach. So he always brings back alumni and stuff like that. It's like you don't really realize it when you're in the moment, but like when you like step away and graduate, you just like a lot of greats been there. So you just always working to be one of the greats.
You feel like that gives y'all a leg up? Everybody that's on that Northwestern team, whether it's on offense or defense. Obviously, we're gonna talk more about the defense today because we got a defensive baller on the show. But you feel like that gives y'all a leg up, not just when you go to camps, when you're going to college at the next level. You feel like the competitiveness and the level of greatness that's expected from y'all at Northwestern. You feel like that gives y'all just a leg up on everybody else when you do get to college?
Yeah, I'd say because like every college recruiter comes to Miami for a reason. They know they're looking for a dog, so it's just like it's already a recruiting hotbed. And everybody knows that if you're a college recruiter, regardless what school you're at, the first stop you make in Miami is Miami Northwestern because you're gonna find somebody. So
Yes,
it's just
sir. You
like
gonna find something. I don't know what you're looking for, but they probably
you gonna
got it.
they got somebody on there. So it's just like then going into practices. I mean, we're going against probably the best group of receivers every day. We're going against a talented running back class every day. Then you're going against an old line that's young, but they dogs too. So it's just like it's intense practice. And then you got Teddy calling the plays. So it's just like stuff that they're running in college, we probably run too. So it's just
You
like,
know it.
yeah. So they already know we understand the game more than other people do.
Another thing I love about the way y'all are coached is y'all have fun, but it's also a very disciplined football team. We're watching your film, everyone runs to the football. Everybody on defense is running to the football. It's almost like nobody wants to be that last person there. Everyone holds themselves accountable. As a senior in that locker room, speak to that leadership and that mentality because that passes on to the next generation. There's somebody behind you right now watching everything you do, going, all right, I can't slack on reps because Will never slacked on reps. Shit, I'm trying to go to West Virginia too. I want to be in the Big 12. That's how that culture gets passed down, but that starts with coaching too. Speak to that culture that's instilled in y'all and why everyone runs to the football like they do.
I'll say with coach, like the coaches while I was coach Teddy, he brought in the staff on defense where it's mainly NFL guys like from every position. So it's just like with that, it would say is like they all preach again 11 people to the ball every time. So it's like everybody want to make the play. So it's like, yeah, me and another D line are holding up, but I'm gonna see my linebacker. He gonna want to get there so he can make a little hit. So now we had a whole stadium rocking.
So it's really I just got if I want to make a play, I gotta get there. It
Yeah,
ain't
we
even
all
like all
want to
right, I
kill.
know coach yelling at us, but I have to get there because somebody else gonna get there.
Yeah, so everybody want to kill shot. So everybody trying to get there for it.
And then you mentioned some of these explosive offenses down there in Florida. Yup. Norland, one of the most explosive offenses you can find. They dot up everybody they play against, but it's not just them. Quarterbacks, receivers, you get tight ends that run like safeties out there and who built like outside linebackers. You're going to the Big 12 where it's known for offense. They're known for explosive. You look at Colorado, you look at what they're known for. You feel like your experience down there in Florida is just going to help you play against those offenses and those quarterbacks that are mobile and want to get the ball out quick.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think that. And then it was like, well, here it's like they like throwing the ball here. So you get to the Big 12 where they love throwing the ball. It's like more sacks. That's more sacks in my eyes.
And in a conference like that, a guy that can get home from the outside, from the inside, it's so valuable. Because two things you got to do in the Big 12. You got to score and you got to get after the quarterback. That's how you win that conference. So when you bring in a guy like Will, what you're essentially saying is I'm locking down one side of that. On my defensive side, I'm gonna bring in guys that can pin their ears back and get to the quarterback no matter where they are on the field. That's why West Virginia never stopped from your sophomore year. That's why Coach Brown, from sophomore year on, identified the talent because that's how you win at that level. That's how you win in the NFL now too. You have to have a Patrick Mahomes, and then you have to stop a Patrick Mahomes. That's how you win. So when you get a pass rusher like this, especially that knows how to get home from the interior, That is incredibly valuable. So for anyone that's wondering, why why are they on him since he was a sophomore? You see the film. It's because no matter where he is and the versatility. So when you see pass rusher, you think, run downs, he take off. Will shuts down the run just as effective. And speak to that, being a pass rusher, being a guy that obviously the sacks are what everyone sees on the stat sheet, but you're just as effective against the run.
I'll say this year probably changed my whole complete mindset because like last year I was the pass rusher supreme. Like I was the best. I felt like I was the best pass rusher in Dade. I was sacks. I think I had almost 17 sacks that season. I was like, damn, but it was just like you go to this season where it's more run stop and playing more teams that like to establish the run. So it's just like now it's like, certain games, the D line he'll come to me, he'll be like, this is not a sack game. So it's like if you want to be a sack guy, you ain't playing here. You want to be a run stopper plus a guy that can rush the passer, we could work. So it's just like you got to establish stopping the run so you can get the sacks.
Warren Sapp likes to say you got to earn the right to rush the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's true. You take care of business on first and second down. Third down will down now, but you got to take care of business on first and second down.
Yeah.
So, bro, I know y'all have a nice playoff run. You got a game this Friday. I cannot wait to see how y'all perform, not just this Friday, but throughout the rest of the playoff run. Obviously, the goal is to get a ring. So I hope you and the squad get one. I hope everybody stays healthy. Let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter. I know all the West Virginia fans in the comments want to know that haven't followed you. And I know fans of other schools still like, all right, the film fire. I want to follow him anyway. So let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter.
I say Instagram go Will1L.Telemaque, and then I say Instagram is __ I am Will with 1L.
Go follow, bro. And I'm gonna link his huddle down in the description too. This way, for those of y'all that are like, look, I gotta see that again. Or you like, oh, he played so and so this year. He played this. They a lot of times they'll break him down game by game. So you can click that huddle link and you can watch him dominate all year. Well, I wish you nothing but good health and success. I hope you get that ring on your finger and you dominate at the next level as well. I think I speak for everybody in the comments, including me, when I say you got a fan in us for life. I cannot wait to see you tear it up in the Big 12, bro.
Appreciate having me on this interview. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Will right now. Y'all gonna see him hoisting a trophy. Y'all gonna see him doing a sack dance, and then you're gonna be in my DMs like, hey, what's his Twitter again? Everything's down in the description. Go follow, bro. If they stream any of those games, shoot me the link so we could pull up and watch y'all dominate from the crib.
For sure. I got you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Will right now. We out.